afternoon. I wonder how the closed caption is going to manage my Slavic accent. So thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to speak to you. And my presentation is also something that came up after my practicum at Bibliographic Services, similar to Gail's. When I was finishing my degree last year, I did my practicum where Sharon Farnel was my supervisor, and that was the time that I just learned about the concept of linked data, and that was something that fascinated me. After practicum, I know that I know nothing, and I wanted to know how I can learn a little bit more. So I started to exploring places that I can gain some skills and knowledge, and I found this very robust and comprehensive list of linked data competencies. That was Linked Data Competency Index that was put together by Linked Data for a Professional Education Project. And I was overwhelmed because you can see there are over 600 competencies listed. So it's hard to know where to start. So my colleagues and I, we decided to look at the, we know that the jobs for linked data librarians will be more and more looked for, and libraries are shifting slowly but steadily toward linked data. So these kind of jobs will be offered more often. So what are actually employers looking for when it comes to linked data? So the goal for this project was to analyze and first gather the body of job postings and look what kind of linked data competencies were mentioned in those job postings, where they were mentioned, the nature of mention. We wanted to ideally at the end suggest some areas to prioritize for linked data development. We looked at several sources: iSchool Job Board, Association of Research Libraries Position Description Bank, several specialized listservs, and we used the following keywords: linked data or linked open data, BibFrame, semantic web, and RDF. And since this is very a new area, we also wanted to include only pretty new job postings. So we included job postings that were not older than from January 2017. We used, and then we ended up with 83 unique job postings that we started analyzing. We used Google Form, and we extracted the job title information, library type, education, which is what is required, what is preferred, experience level, and for entry level, and as an entry level experience, we defined having 0 to 2 years of experience, and linked data related skills and other skills, and we focused on hard skills. We didn't look at people skills or managerial skills. This is just a snapshot. This is not systematic overview of what is going on there. Because of the sources we used, we know that it's focused on academic libraries, and it's focused on Canada and US. So first question we ask is, where's the job? And there's no surprise here. Most of the jobs are offered in academic libraries, but that's also something that is one of our limitations. Only one job was that we found was posted for public libraries. There were a few special libraries and other places like research organizations, for example. We looked at the job title, and we found out that most of the jobs are awarded for librarians or head librarians. There were a few that mentioned they're looking for analysts or specialists, or there were 19% of job postings that didn't mention any of these terms. We were looking about specific terms that were included in the job postings. So majority of the job postings mentioned metadata either alone or metadata and cataloging. There was only one job that mentioned cataloging without mentioning metadata in the job title, and 15% that didn't mention any of these terms. Most of the employers are looking for American Library Association accredited degree that included MLIS, MIS, MLS, and archival studies or similar. For other degrees, most of employers didn't look for additional degrees. In terms of required degrees that were postings, for example, for faculty position or very specialized degrees, for example, Masters of Art in Music for music libraries. 13% said the additional degrees as an option to library degrees, and preferred was only 13%. Majority of the employers are looking for experienced candidates. Only 19% specifically mentioned that are looking for 0 to 2 years of experience, and 30% didn't specify it. We actually were surprised that none of the job had linked data in the job title, so no one was looking for linked data librarian. Most of the linked data was mentioned in required skill section, but they were also mentioned in job description and preferred skill section. In terms of what employers are looking for, this is unspecified familiarity with or knowledge of linked data, mostly, or linked open data, followed by knowledge or familiarity with RDF or BibFrame. Some mentioned very technical skills like Sparkle. Few mentioned ontologies, specifically OWL, Dublin Core, and semantic web. So putting all this together, who they are looking for? They are looking for experienced metadata or metadata and cataloging librarian for work in academic library, having accredited degree. Most desired are some familiarity or knowledge of linked data, BibFrame, and RDF. Less desired but still looked for are some knowledge or familiarity with Sparkle, ontology, specifically OWL or semantic web. This is a project that is ongoing, so we want to still look for additional postings. We want to analyze more whatever we already have. Especially we want to look at the non-linked data related skills. We want to compare these findings with the competency index, and the ideally would like to suggest topics for linked data education and training that would require contacting maybe schools and looking at their curriculum, or employers and interviewing them in terms of what actually they are looking for. Thank you.